anything else on it. If anyone
You,
catches us, great.
yeah, we're live right now.
A little bit late. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
DM Geese Jim here.
Yeah, it's on me, guys.
Should,
Sorry about that.
oh man, life happens. Life
Yeah,
happens to everybody, man.
yeah.
Every one of us done do it once in a while. But hey, hope
Hi,
you guys are
everybody.
doing well today. So what we you had suggested that we talk about adding, and I titled my shit adding and subtracting players.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, the inevitable new player joins, uh, old current player leaves. It's something that I'm getting a lot of experience right now with on a
yeah,
I mean, weekly, constant basis. So it's
yeah.
been something I've
And
had to learn how to deal.
it was that, and along with our new person coming in tonight, that I was kind of
Yeah,
thinking about, like, because I've only ever had to add one person to a campaign ever once, and I made it like a big entrance for them. Like, my whole thing was the party had literally just had a vision, basically, of an apocalyptic event happening. And once the vision ended, their table started to shake. That was the very first thing that happened in their vision, was that it was they were sitting in the same bar, table started to shake, and then the vision went on from there. And so, like, they came back, table starts to shake, and it's actually the new party member. They've just bumped their head on the table because they fell asleep like, underneath the table. They're a little halfling. They fell asleep, and they're just like, boom, and that's how they got introduced.
I mean that's quick and easy.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't put a ton of effort into it anymore.
No?
As far as I make sure it's a natural, normal point, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But as far as but I mean that's something that I've had to like, very much ad hoc, on the job training type of a thing. Because when we're playing online groups, friends groups, you can literally pause mid combat at the end of your session as long as you took notes on who's going what and where, and then pick up next session.
Yeah.
The problem is if someone misses, one or two people miss, and lo and behold, okay, I guess we'll skip a week, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But when you're playing pickup games or when you're playing open games, I've got to make sure that I'm ending in a clean spot every session to where if someone has to add in, I mean, even though we're playing a campaign, they're very much, I've got to think in the mindset of an episodic campaign.
That's kinda cool.
Every single session has to be, okay, well, we're back at the base, or we're sitting around the fire, or you guys know you have to be somewhere in 6 hours, and we'll pick up next session with some downtime, whatever. So I've had to get a lot better about planning and running sessions to make sure that they line up in the gap to do that. But
Yeah.
5 hour session gives you a lot of time to do that with.
Okay. Um,
So it's planning. As long as you're putting yourself in a good position. For example, we're adding a new guy to Sigil tonight.
yes.
And I stalled a lot of time last week's session to make sure that it was a natural dovetail in, so we didn't have to do the meanwhile thing
Yeah.
this week.
If anybody caught the session last week, I'm sure they saw us all doing that. It's like,
Yeah.
how can I solve this? Because we know there's a new person coming in. I guess that's one way to go about it, is if your party is aware of it, then they can stall somewhere for you well enough that you can just slide them in. Because
Well,
I
and that was kind of the hope, is why I said that early. We've got an
yeah,
hour to kill. We're in Signpost. We're going to bring him next week, hoping that you guys did some downtime, whatever. You wanted to go fight. She wanted to go do this. They wanted to go do that. We were able to manage it a little bit.
yeah.
So it
Oh,
wasn't a big
man.
deal.
Look, so this is totally a thing. I've never done this before. I've never been this character, but because I am playing this character now, I'm so ready to do, like, go to a bar that's got, like, a boxing ring or, like, a fighting ring where people, like, brawl in the yeah, I'm so ready for it, like, just to have a tavern where there's, like, a circle on the floor, like, you can fight.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm so ready for it.
Yeah.
Knowing that I do not have the hands for it.
That's funny.
But,
But so as far as incorporating players in a perfect world, and like my situations are far from perfect. It's like I look at my roster an hour before the game, who's bought tickets, and it's like, okay, I see 6 tickets here and 8 in Discord. Hey, Matt, do I got extra players? Oh yeah, ha ha ha. Oh, these two are brand new, by the way. We're week 5. We're week 5 into a game, adding 2 brand new players, but losing one here. It's an interesting dynamic running,
so
for lack of a better term, public games.
so let me ask you this, how are you building your encounters based off of that, knowing that you have so many people coming in and out constantly? Is it just like you have
Adjusting on
foreknowledge?
the fly. Adjusting on the fly.
Okay, okay. That's wild.
Um, big BBEG style things, I know I'm gonna have to manage differently and rely on attritional damage on the lead up because on any given day, if all 8 people show up ready to fight the BBEG and someone has to roll up a level 12 on the spot, they're gonna fucking min max the shit out of it. So yeah, I've got to use the yield, glyphs of warding, pits, specters draining levels, all the little cheesy shit that I can to
Right.
cheese the party down before the big fight. Honestly, a lot of it is adding just adding targets, you know?
Yeah, just beefing up numbers or subtracting
Yeah,
them based on how many people are there. Because like I was
exactly.
thinking about like for instance, because we've gone through several parties now where we didn't have a cleric of any kind, and I
Mhm.
know that like relegates you to how much you can use with like as far as your monsters. So I was
Yeah.
really curious about like okay, well we're in this area, and when we started we had this cleric, and now I have a team of mostly melee fighters, and we're fighting ghosts right now. Like you know. So I was curious about like how you're like handling encounters.
Be you gotta be
Yeah,
flexible.
no, that's fair.
I understand. I guess maybe it's a little bit of cheating and leaning a little bit more into the improv or base knowledge. Um, I know a selection of monsters that will fit the theme and the ecology geography of that specific area.
Yeah,
So from there, it's me either making, like I said, large swarm type things that really jack. I'm using a lot more swarm tactics now. That way, I can
gotcha.
move into 2 and 3 people's squares at a time with the same swarm of creatures. And when they go to do stuff, they're hurting themselves if they don't use their spell sculptor at the right time. Making sure to let the terrain work for me. I'm sorry if it's boring. I'm not going to give you a 60-foot wide hallway with 8 people to shoot all at once. I'm chewing on the first two, hit and go, hit and go, hit and go,
Yeah.
and it's so I've got to adjust a little bit. Who the fuck is
Uh-oh.
that? I don't know who the hell that is.
Man, your thing just made me think about this. Apparently, they're doing fucking AI voice call scams now, where they're getting voices of people that you know in order to call you with fucking AI voices in order to scam you out of stuff. That's wild to me.
That's a heavy duty investment.
Right. That's wild to me.
Well, and the funny thing is, here's the irony, unless it was like there's no one I know that would call me to ask for anything like
Right. Same.
money-wise.
Same.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to get to. Anyone I talk to regularly, it's text, Discord, or in person. You don't call me and ask for bucks. You come to my house and hey man, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I would laugh.
I'm
Hey, this is your friend Kevin. I need $1,000.
like, you see, I'm almost unscammable just because I don't have any bills towards anything at all. Like, I have no mortgages, I have no car payments, I have no nothing.
Well, I
So
mean,
when you're like,
let's
"Hey, your car's extended warranty," I'm like, "Man, my car's 20 fucking years old. It doesn't have an extended warranty now, man." Like,
yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, let's be honest. You and I are streamers. Our voices, our likenesses are available at hundreds
yeah,
of hours level for that kind of shit to happen.
yeah, that's true.
That's part of the game. That's part of the game, man.
Do it, make me an AI voice. I would love that. I would love a
Uh,
soundboard of my own voice.
No joke, dude.
It'd
No
be
joke.
funny as hell. I would use it
Type,
all the time.
type to text on my own voice. Hell yeah, man. Because sometimes I can type way faster than I can talk.
Uh, so the question I was gonna ask you before the stream started, and this is kinda off topic, not really. But this is just a question for me, as a DM for, the thing I'm currently doing.
Mhm.
So I talked to you previously about adding, like, a rival gang for my team, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to have them meet a team of 6 people. But they're just in their, like, rest area, like, their tavern area, basically.
Yeah.
But these 6 people work for the same organization and stuff like that,
Okay.
and I'm wondering if I should let them meet these people and these people be their rivals later on, or if I should just have these be friendly faces to them.
Man, I think I would let the players determine which way it goes.
That's a good point, yeah, see how they interact with them, and if they are kind of, like, fussy with them,
The
yeah.
enemy of your own making.
Yeah, that's a good point, that's a good point, that's actually a good idea. Okay,
As they interact with them, just kind of play them
like,
as
gauge it?
Well, I mean, if that's what you're wanting to do, I would play them as
Yeah.
kind of not necessarily standoffish,
I was
but
gonna say they're
I don't
kinda
know
gonna
who
be a
you are.
little
Who
s
are you?
I was
A
gonna
little
say
skittish, a little nervous, a little. I don't borderline antisocial, but
I
not like hostile.
Yes, I was gonna actually say that, like, they actually none of them go by their real names, they all go by code names, and the second that the players start giving them their real names, they're gonna be like, "What is wrong with you guys? Like, we are you amateurs? Like, what is this?" Like
Well, no, instantaneously, then you're already setting your
right,
players up with a.
yeah,
If you want your players to determine how they behave, you can't guide them with those kind of
yeah.
you fucking rook. Well, fuck you too. It's already gone.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, and that's kinda what I was thinking, yeah, they're gonna kinda be, like, standoffish to begin with just because, like, yeah, none of them have real names, like, at all.
well, and
They all have,
yeah,
like,
and that'll be
the
superhero names.
yeah,
I guess I'm Tangerine. Are you Lemon? No, I want to be Lemon. Lemon was
and
way
they
cooler than
they
Tangerine.
all have, like, really pretentious fucking names, like Phantom Dagger, and like, stuff like that, they all have, like, really stupid fucking names.
Again, like so
The
picking
Music
names,
Marauder.
picking their behavior is going to complete, and then relying on your players to decide who they're gonna be. You may as well decide who you want them to be and make them act that way now. Then
That's fair.
I want
Oh,
my
I have
players if they're cool or not, but I'm gonna give them psycho names and make them make fun of my players. Well, no, you've set them up to be the rival already.
yeah, I literally set these guys up to be, like to make it so the room wasn't empty, and I was like, "There's only 6 people in here, I need to know who all 6 of these people are." Like, if it was a room full of people, I would only get, like, names and some basic information, but, like, I have all
Yeah.
of their stuff. This is who this person is, this is how they got into thievery, this is their personality. But and a few of them are, like, funner people, probably the first person that's gonna talk to them is the bard who is a bard. He hits on
Mhm.
people. That's his thing. Um,
Cool.
yeah, but yeah, it's a whole thing.
Well, I mean, I don't. That's more a you question.
Yeah. Well,
From
I
the
was just
simple fact
curious.
is, yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
my scenario is always leave you guys with enough information to make the good seem bad, the bad seem good, and your choices are your choices.
okay, okay. 'Cause I wasn't sure if it would be more fun to be like, okay, it's a different organization with different people, and you don't know who they are, and you'll get to know them over time, kind of thing. If it was like, well, it's literally the first people you met. You know?
What do you want to manage short
Yeah.
term versus long term as well is the other thing.
Okay. Okay. I got a thought in my head. I'm gonna
Dude, it's just me and you bullshit. Let's
I'm
bullshit,
gonna
man.
I'm gonna attempt to have the cake and eat it too. We'll see
Okay.
if I can manage it. I'll probably dial back some of their personalities a little bit,
Yeah.
so that they're not as like we're professionals kind of guys. Because I think it'd be fun for them to have like professional rivals, like people that are kind of like these people are professionals. They've been doing this for a while now. Kind of like, and they're almost polar opposites of the characters, kind of thing. And then for them to have like actual like rivals, where it's like these are the bad guys and they're trying to steal the shit before you steal it, kind of people. Because it's weird for them to, I guess, to be rivals if they work for the same organization. I'd feel really insulted if the same organization sent the same people out to do the same job. I probably would be like, "Okay, we're done here. Like, you're awful people."
You think Zadara gives a fuck
That's true.
about your little mortal feeling?
That's true.
I need this done. I need this now.
That's
One
true.
team failed. This
And
time
that's
send two.
fair
Two teams
because
failed. This time send three.
yeah, and that's fair because
That's Zadara, dude.
I wasn't gonna put him in for a little while. I was gonna let them probably hit like 5, 6 before I started introducing him like that, to where they are more difficult heist kind of thing.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I was about to say that's just something that you're going to have to start remembering as a DM versus being a
Oh,
player for so long. The players' feelings are
uh,
fucking insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
I
I
have
don't want to hurt their feelings with the BBEG Titaness who owns the wealth of multiple worlds, and she gives zero fucks about how
oh,
the players are going to think about things.
I have
So you can have internal rivalries.
see,
Who
and that's yeah,
cares?
kinda what I was thinking. Yeah, I kinda wanna do that. Um, I'm so ready for this next one. The Stygian Gambit is the name of it. It takes place in an Avernus themed casino where each of the rooms is named after a different layer of Avernus. They have like a river that runs through the middle of the place. They call it the River Styx. Um,
Mhm.
my person that I can't wait to play is the boatman. because he's just a dude. He's just a guy, and like his job is to not talk to you and just to move you across the fucking water. And like I'm waiting for the players to try to talk to him because he can't. He's not supposed to respond. And like if they keep doing it, he's supposed to be like, "Guys, I'm just trying to do my job here. Come on, like leave me alone." Just like, which I think is super fun. I love it because he's just a worker. Like he's not part of a big thing. He just works there, man.
So yeah, I don't plan silly for I can't plan for silly
That's
and
written into the
over
campaign. Yeah.
but I mean, that stuff always seems
Yeah,
to
it probably won't
manage itself.
happen, but I just think it'd be funny. I'm
Yeah.
so ready for it. Yeah. But yeah, fucking so do you feel that adding okay, adding new players, does it actively change like dynamics for everything in the game, or is it just mostly monster count?
That's such a huge question.
Yeah. Like
It's going to change your party dynamics,
yeah.
hopefully for the better. It's going to change your party's interactions and strategies, hopefully for the better. Depending on how vested or otherwise this person's story is or drive for backstory and all of that. It can possibly change the or their differences in alignment and personality versus the party's goal. I mean, shit. Let's use Greyhawk. We have a character, a player that has been active in the campaign for 6 months, 8 months, who made a new character for the second chapter of the journey, knowing full well what we are going and what we are doing, and caused more potential conflict within the group in creating this character.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. And this is someone, and like I said, this wasn't even
Look,
so. You're damn well guaranteed it's going to happen at pickup games because it happened in a live play group. You know, hell, look, I was guilty of doing that thing when I killed Akko off to try to bring in a cleric, and now my cleric is so upright and stodgy that the group can't be devil worshipping, pack breaking murder hobos. So I have to change characters again if I keep playing.
I have some things to say about
I've on
Morgan
both
that are
sides of the
probably
thing. That
I have some things to say about that character that are probably best left out of the
that's fine.
stream.
But an example
But
of,
I
and
agree. I agree.
I'm not trying to pull anything. Hadn't named
But
any names or done anything other than it's a
yeah, that's
fact that
fair.
it
That's
can
fair.
happen. And
That's fair.
I don't think it's out of selfishness. I don't think it's out of malice. I just think it was out of poor planning, possibly.
Possibly. Possibly.
This sounded way cooler to the player to play until they realized exactly where, it makes,
Well,
no, you're in Evil Town and you're going to be in Evil Town for the next 6 months. And you made a super contradictory cleric even for where your current patron and ally, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
But it's
And I
okay.
don't
It
think that
happens, so
you
we got to manage it.
yeah,
We're managing it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that you can't play that character, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. I don't see
So,
anything wrong with
that's my whole point is we're living through. We have a in live in play example of that in one of our streaming campaigns, where the same players switch characters, and at the same time, because of and it's a good character. I'm not bitching about that, but because the way the group is shifted so much into the dark, at the same time this super lawful good person has shown up. So it's not so much them as much as well as a couple of the other people embracing the dark side instantaneously. Like you, like that one night, you're laughing. The fucking sun goes away and you turn into a bigger asshole. What the hell, man?
it. Look, I'm gonna be
That
honest. I'm 100% hoping
was genius.
that them and Paris have my back on this because this is gonna be rough, rough.
Yeah,
Mostly from 1.5 characters. I'm not even saying for one of them. I'm not even saying they're fully into it. It's just I
yeah.
know they're going to embrace the chaos. That's the problem.
Well, and here's the thing. I promise you, it's not going to be as big of a deal as we're concerned about, unless the group becomes purposeful about that style of play.
Okay.
If you choose to do that, I'm going to support that game. Like I said,
So
kind of my standby. I'm not here to tell you what you can do. I'm here to tell you what happens when you choose what to do
so what you're telling me is we're
or
only gonna
what
get in
to do.
trouble if we don't do it by accident. If we do it by accident, we won't be in trouble.
Well, define accident. I mean, I guess
Oh, we
I mean
do stuff
we're
all the time
talking
with the
ambiguous,
yeah. I was gonna say we do
but
stuff all the
in
time without realizing what the consequences are gonna be.
It sound cool in the moment, sucks
That
later.
is
But I mean, this thing,
that's
you
pretty much the
guys are a
story of that
lot more.
whole campaign. Honestly,
Yeah. But now you wake up every morning in in the former Shield lands with a Vrock circling above, spying on your keep, an upset, emotionally broken teenage trapped necromancer with a half demons for
yeah,
part of her soul, sitting in the basement sifting through the remains of her family. Um, y'all are in a bad fucking place. It's a
yeah.
dark, bad place. And so I think the surface level crazy is only surface level, you
I'm
know?
hoping so. I'm hoping so. Yeah,
I hope. We'll see. It'll play itself out though,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know what you're kind of
Look,
feeling
look.
as a player.
And I'm gonna say this is because like we already know that I'm like typically the chaos player in a group. Um, but this is one of those places where it's like I know that there's so much freedom in chaos that I can't do it. You know what I mean? Where it's like this is one of the few places where I could be pure chaos and it's gonna benefit me in the place based off of like the people that are around me for me
No,
to do the let's ride in this place, let's burn it to the ground kind of person and get her dead.
this is where you guys are all learning about the difference between chaos and evil. Plain and
Yes.
simple.
Yes.
Plain and simple. You could do what you wanted in the Karen Hills, and you often did, which resulted in crazy shit happening. But you still respected the good nature of I'm not pillaging and destroying. I mean, you guys felt like assholes for letting that family die because you stopped for a short rest at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It's like you got in a fight with a teenager and you told him to fuck off. He ran off in a panic. What do you think's going to happen, dude? So that was kind of a learning moment back then. And now all of that is out the window because you guys are sitting in on the borderlands of 200 miles behind the front lines of an exhausted Furiondi and a slowly reinvigorating Ayaz,
Yeah. In a
with
place
everything
where
else I described. Yeah,
yeah,
so
in
there's
a
no
place where
chaos
they
ain't
would praise us for doing the exact same thing was like, "Man, good job. You got that little farmer's kid out of there. Good job, guys."
you
Oh,
know
and an Ankh got to eat it? That's cool. Like,
right? Fuck yeah, man! You got the loot? Hell yeah!
yep,
Does it burn? It burned. That's gonna be some fertile soil. Shit, yeah.
yep,
So yeah, exactly. The scope is shifted between lawful and chaos because it was in a good framed world to now everything is evil
yeah,
except for your actions. So if your group's actions continue along the the lifestyles or the belief style, if you will, the dogma.
yeah.
That's a good term. Following the dogma of your gameplay in the Karen Hills, then the repercussions are going to be different because they're overall good decisions. But if you embrace the chaos and you realize there's no limit to how far you can take this because you're going to get richer, you're going to get more powerful, and the people around you are going to high five you or run away from you, man, what's a check to your chaos? No,
Yeah.
there's no more chaos. It's just evil now.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Um, oof. This is, I want to be honest. Before we got to this place, like it was like I wasn't giving a lot of thought to this kind of stuff because I hadn't seen how everybody else was going to play, and like now the more that I'm there, I'm kind of like fuck because like I know that we have to make concessions. Like there's just no way that I can be a lawful good person here. Their life would be fucking miserable and hard as hell to maintain. You know, so it's kind of like where I have to give it a concession of I know this chick that we're dealing with is a bad person, but we need some kind of foothold in this place because right now we are nothing. We are walking around in a castle that's not built up at all. We have no cart to stay in at all. We have no power. We have no money, no connections to anything. And it's like I know that you're my close neighbor. You're willing to help me for me to do something seemingly small for you, and we need to befriend you long enough for us to get at least our foothold and we'll see. I
But
honestly believe that even though she's a bad guy, I think that we could get her to team up
hey,
with us
Sharp,
to go against
Greyhawk,
them.
thanks for joining us, Sharp.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
absolutely.
playing in Greyhawk Shieldlands. They're in Castle Muckos on the western slope of White Plume Mountain, just a little bit south of the town of Bolarn, and facing some stuff going on in here. The content that I used was the Marklands, Aya's the Evil, Out of the Ashes, and Greyhawk Third Edition Living Greyhawk Gazetteer for all of the source. Everything else is homebrew within that. You know how Greyhawk be. Tells you in this 500-mile area, there's lots of bad guys and there's some gold. Have fun. So I'm having fun.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, so now here's one thing though, Josh. Everything looks really dark because you haven't been the closest to a good versus evil decision you've been given was the servants.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of got your bat sense going was Paley or
Yes.
Homie had no problem instantly. Oh shit! I want to catch up with that cart. I'm gonna polymorph my servant into a horse and ride her for an hour. That's some fucked up shit.
It
That's some
is.
fucked up shit.
It is. Look, I keep thinking
You
about
know,
I keep thinking about this fucking video that I saw about the mice from Cinderella, and they're like, "We were turned into people. Do you know what that's like?" Like,
right? So I
my friend
mean,
was a horse.
but my thinking in and is and is well, excuse me, the big picture strategy. You guys haven't been presented with any good options.
No.
So I mean, you're choosing between the lesser of two evils because you've only had evils.
Yeah.
Now the other side of that is the good option isn't going to be outright obvious, a glowing beacon of a temple of you Saint Cuthbert in the middle of the field surrounded by a bunch of no, it's not going to be overt obvious good shit. You know, but so that's where you get to immerse yourself in the chaotic nature of stuff. We're going to lie, cheat, and steal against eyes as people as we help all of these refugees or all of these rebel groups or whatever that are going on back there. You just haven't
Mm.
encountered any yet. That's the thing.
You gotta say, would be kind
You
of
know,
cool.
you did. You guys had the potential for a really good ally group and a really big one piece ally to call in a future need, but you didn't want to go to the swamp. So, and that's okay. I can't blame you. You had a bad experience in the last swamp you went through.
That's fair. Look, I saw a fluvial and I was like, nah. Like that's, and then we got close to it and you're like, oh, it's yellow. And I was like, yeah, it was a good decision for us not to go in there. It's like
That
that's just a
yellowish
fucking
brown
sulfur
stained
fucking
water.
swamp. Like that's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, out in the middle of it, there's still large because it's so many. There's islands and some stuff and these weird twisted ass jacked up trees, slowly petrifying forests
we
and
still have
stuff
our
like that.
feather.
Huh?
We still have our feather, our Qualm's feather. We still have that. We could feasibly build a raft.
But again, there's that, and then what I have stuff planned up in Grozen. When you if slash when you guys make your way over to the Rift, there's two or three big help the greater humanity type things that are gonna happen there that you have the potential for. But because we're in Darkville, I also had the potential to make you guys go, man, if we go with this, then ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. It's all going to be based on your decisions, but there's options,
Oh,
you know. And we're not even talking about when you start interacting with Craptivus, you know.
oh fuck yeah, yeah. I didn't even realize that we were actually going to interact with him. I thought that was one
I
of
don't
those
know if you
things.
are.
Yeah,
That's. I have Yiliak and him. You know how brain timeline, blah 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 blah.
yeah, yeah.
If you guys don't involve yourselves in that, you don't involve yourselves in that directly. Eventually, you may become involved in it, but you can choose not to go too far if you just do one or two things. It's up to y'all.
Yeah,
We'll
my
see.
my
There's
biggest
up to
worry
y'all.
right now is that we're gonna wind up having to put her down at some point in time, and I don't want to have to do that. 'Cause, with the way that things are, with everything that's going on, and the fact that she could feasibly take over a large chunk of this place really fucking quickly, it'd be bad. It'd be bad.
Okay, number one, she only has her natural power now, her learned power. She's not completely OP because of the nexus of the Star Karens and the ley lines there. She's stronger than she ever has been, but she's not like fucking fly up in the air super demoness anymore. When you guys kept flipping the switches,
Yeah,
you know, and she's like more. But that's the whole
yeah.
reason why
Oh
Bigby
yeah, yeah,
wanted you guys to get her the fuck out.
yeah.
So
I knew that. I knew that, but I sorry when you said she's back to like her normal power, I wasn't thinking about like her with the shadow. I thought you meant like normal, like she was an apprentice necromancer power for a second. Is what I thought you were talking. I was like, oh, that's bad. But no, even with her shadow demony guy, um,
she's about level 14ish on a spellcaster ability chart.
I've been debating.
DC 18 plus 7 to shoot. Effective.
I'm fairly certain Bigby's not going to rock up with her shit anytime soon. I'm sure her stuff's gone and he confiscated it for purposes.
Um,
So I've been debating back and forth about. I have some goo on me
No, he's gonna send some of it. I'm
Okay,
gonna keep up with what there was nowhere safe to send it, and
that's
that's
fair.
what he said. Apprentice reported area insecure for these materials. Report back when safe storage has been established. Because he's not gonna leave a fucking 20 drums of necromantic goo sitting in the middle of fucking the shield lands for the next Iuzian to stumble by and go, ooh, look.
That's fair. Yeah, I've been thinking about the fact that I have those 2 vials, and I'm like, if he doesn't show up, I could give them to her, but I don't know how much that would help her, if any, or if
all
that
it
would be a
does
horrible decision.
all it does, mechanically speaking, is just maximum powered skeleton, maximum powered zombie, aka full
Oh,
hit points
okay.
stack out. You know, instead of you getting a random, hit point 11 on the skeleton, it's gonna be her skeletons will be hit point 24.
Okay, okay.
Her zombies would be hit point 42. You know,
I did not realize
so if
the
you guys start, yeah, no, it's just now her control of them was all enhanced because of the care. And remember when you first met her,
Yes.
she had all the ones running around her, but after you turned on the two other ones, she was able to talk and see through the ones out there. That was because of the magnification of the necrotic connection in the Cairn.
Yeah.
That whole Juiblex's aspect was just fucking supercharging all of it. So that's not there. She's not gonna be able to have 50 undead running around and being able to see and walk and talk and see and talk through all of them anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they also won't be able to use any undead against her, though, so
Well, you know what? That's what and honestly, this is how far I almost went with it to see if I wanted how far I could make her drag you guys is pulling out ye old ruler and drawing the lines and seeing how close the nearest ley line would be in connection to Muckos from the ones that nexus of them. Because if they're all active and she can reconnect to that shit and it's not too far from Muckos, dun dun dun, then yes, she has the capability to take over a lot of shit really quickly.
yeah, that's a good
So
point.
maybe you don't want to do that, do you?
No, especially not with at least one person being like, "Let's, raise the city to the ground."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, new players, new characters. I think as far as getting them into the game, we obviously back and forth in
Yeah,
the chat here. But I mean, number one, communicate. Make sure that the new player knows what they're getting into. That's something I don't have an option with the pickup games at all. But friends games, family games,
th
you got to make sure when you bring a new person in, they have a little of a bit of an idea of what they're in for. You know,
yes, and that especially personalities too. I wasn't even thinking about it from that perspective because sometimes personalities are gonna clash, and you don't wanna bring that person into your game. Like,
you're
if I
not going to know that until they start playing.
That's
Everyone
fair.
puts up a good front when they want to join a group.
That's fair.
Everyone's the
That's
best
fair.
player ever, and I love hanging out and I love collaboration. And no, I'm not a rules lawyer. Nah, man, I'm here to grow. Okay, let's play. What are you playing? I'm playing a Bugbear Pole Arms Sentinel with a +3 Hellfire Glaive. Uh, the context is lost on me, but I agree with the premise. Um, oh, sorry, Sharp. We're just bullshitting a little bit today. Normally we run 3:30 to 5:30 on Fridays and kind of stay on theme, but my brother
Yeah.
had a bad day at work. We got on a little bit late, and we're just kind of back and forth. But yeah, our main thing is that Josh wanted to talk about, and again we've been rambling, so apologies for that. Is just adding new players to a group, or and how do you integrate a brand new player to an ongoing campaign? How do you
Yeah.
integrate a new character into an ongoing campaign? It may not even always be a new player. Someone bit the dust. Someone has been toughing it out for 5 levels and is just really sick to death of this character, wants to try something new. That could be the same thing. Now the advantage on that is when you have well, you would think the advantage on that is when you have a current player switching characters that, I'm bored of this player, I want to use that, or whatever. For whatever reason, it's able to, the personality should already be meshed in with the group, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not the case either, because what my character would do.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've had
So
that
this is
conversation a bunch of times.
so many times. Well, it's the
Yeah.
it's the it's the root of a lot of shit. It's a
It
root of a lot of
it
issues in a
really
group.
is. It really is. And that was actually I was I was gonna bring that up with our Greyhawk thing at some point in time.
Yeah.
That's why I was doing the concession thing. If at any point in time you realize, like, I go, "No, we gotta do this for the greater good," and it's something really bad, you gotta go, "Hey, man, do you realize you just did this? Can you do that for me?" Because, like, there might come a point in time where I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. We do need to destroy this city for the greater good," and I don't wanna be that guy. because like a slippery slope is a slippery slope for a reason, man.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And well, that's part of the fun of playing in that I know we're bouncing back and
Yeah,
forth
yeah.
back to Greyhawk. I
But
guess we're
yeah,
having
yeah.
more fun
Sorry,
chatting about that.
sorry, but yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, that's part of the fun of playing in that section of the world. Or if you're a Forgotten Realms fan, take your players over east towards Thay or over towards the Dale Lands, Vasa Damara, where there's just constant presence of a evil empire. Not the sneaky guys in the caves, not yet another cult raises another thing. Genuine, established 1,000 square mile kingdoms of just bad. It changes the entire dynamic of your campaign when you're playing there.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you're playing a bad campaign. You're playing a campaign in a bad place. That's one thing that I will have to say, based so far in 5th edition published campaigns, don't really put you in that. You're defending the Sword Coast against something
Yeah.
in almost every case, or you're reclaiming something from something. Other than like maybe Descent into Avernus is probably the one that puts you in a fucking bad place and you're living a bad way. But it's your players have so many MacGuffins built into that game where they can still be good guys and live in a bad place.
Not the same thing, but there is one of the heists in the key things where the main enemies that you have to fight are actually just normal helpless people that have been turned into monsters. So you have to make the decision of, do I defend myself and kill this thing, or
Yeah.
how do we free them? So it's not exactly the same thing, but it is very much that these are just citizens, and
Yeah.
kind
Now,
of thing.
how do you be a hero in a place that is sheer evil, that your heroic actions attract attention? That's what you guys are about to play
Yes.
around with in Ayas now. You
Yes.
know, when you're in a land where everything's good and nice and clean and pretty, aka Greyhawk, Cairn Hills, Hardby area, Selene, Furiandi, the best of your actions are like okay compared to everyone else.
We gotta hire a hype man. We gotta hire a fucking PR professional. No,
Oh shit.
they went into that town and they actually defeated that guy so that they could take the town over. That's what happened. Um,
Yeah. So
but
but
then it
bringing
slipped
in
through their
new.
hands. Dang it! All those citizens, they weren't expecting it.
So yeah, I mean, maybe in our conversations we're having right now with Greyhawk, maybe that's one thing that we didn't reiterate or spend enough time on prior to the new character, the character changeovers, is exactly what kind of nasty this was going to entail.
I think that all of us had like somewhat of an idea, but not like a full idea of like the entire scope of the situation until we actually got there and started interacting with stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And you guys don't, but you don't know.
I was gonna say we're
And I
we're
guess
not.
that's the thing.
We're barely
Yeah,
into it.
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't mean it as a criticism. That's me inside smiling, going, "Excellent."
Oh yeah,
Oh, I get to
and
chirp them back and
that's
forth
why I've been
emotionally and
worried.
morally for the next year.
Well, that's why I've been worried. We're like 3 sessions in, and we already got a motherfucker that's like, "I'm gonna polymorph this person into a horse. Let's go burn a city. Like, let's help her build up a fucking zombie army real quick." And it's just like, let's not do any of that. We're good guys, remember?
Oh,
And it's
and
like we're
as
3
a
sessions
DM,
in,
that's
and it's just gonna get worse.
one. And this is the test to my resolution to keep things sandboxy, to keep things player driven.
Yeah.
I have to accommodate. I plan to accommodate any shift in behavior, any decisions that the group makes as a whole, good or bad or ugly, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, so bringing a new character into this situation, understanding how ooky it is in any new campaigns, man. Or no, it's got to be a campaign. One shot, you're going to be. It doesn't matter. A new player is a new player.
Yeah.
A new character is a new character. It's going to be a new one next session. So just fucking have fun and relax. This is kind of a very specific topic. I guess
think
you
that
could say.
even if you have a really bad player at a one shot, I think you can still have fun because it doesn't matter because the player's not coming back to your table and you can be a dick to them.
Yeah, and I don't want to condone
Right.
gatekeeping. I don't want to condone, using game mechanics to punish a bad player. I'm still of the mindset that we need to be mature enough to say, hey, thanks for coming, but I just don't think this is going to be a good fit. There's a lot of different DMs, a lot of different players. That's the reason is because we don't always mesh up. No harm, no foul,
Yeah.
and let it go with that. And the player can walk away going, "Oh yeah, that DM sucks. He wasn't good enough for me," and I can walk away going, "Oh, thank God that player is gone. The rest of my table can relax. I'll be the bad guy in that. That's okay."
Yeah.
Instead of but at the same time, you need to be able to just to use discipline in game mechanics as well. And players that are new to your campaign or running new characters need to understand exactly what's involved in that. You know.
Yeah. So you brought up Avernus earlier, and so this was actually kind of when I
Yeah.
was this is when I was thinking about for like adding a new player is what if you are in a place like that, in a place like Avernus, in a place like the Beastlands, where like these aren't places where like a lot of tourists typically hang out, you know?
Oh, like where I had to add. Well, so again,
Where we were beast people, thankfully enough.
well, I was about to say, I mean, think it in our situations in our games, and I would hope in almost any situation, when the new player's coming if it's not a pickup game.
Right.
So if you're in the middle of a big old nasty hoopla plot, don't have them come to that session so they can sit there and watch for 3 hours until they get involved in the game. Have them come next week after this part's resolved into a more natural point to start. That's the first and foremost thing. We're in control of in a non-pickup situation. We're absolutely in control of when that new player starts. And if it means making them wait a week so they can have a better and more natural entrance, that's the first thing to look at.
Yeah.
The timing. You're in control of that. You know.
Yeah. I,
Go ahead.
but I guess the question was more along the lines of like introducing a new player into a setting where they shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? Like Avernus is one of those places where it's just like there aren't many mortals that are just walking around down here, you know?
Well, and that's what I'm talking. That's what I
Yeah.
was leading into as far as you got to make sure there's a natural pause in place to do it. For y'all, I would force some sort of reason to go back to Mad Maggie's, and you meet your new character at Mad Maggie because that's kind of the closest neutral, if you will,
Oh,
stronghold near El Turel's entry point.
I was gonna say, I guess now thinking back on it, you could use El Terrell as a way to get that character in there. You were on El Terrell when it got sucked in, and you're stronger than other people, so you went out to go look for stuff or something. Yeah, I guess, yeah. That's a good point. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
you got 50,000 people up there. You can draw a couple extra characters from down there as you need to go. Or like when we lost a character, one decided to go up. Wandering Emporium is a great location, exactly. Sharp Chris kicking in. I made that twice, introducing a player in a complicated situation. Yeah. So that's one of those things that, yeah, 100% with you, man. I learned the hard way as well. This is a cool fight. You should come join us tomorrow night for this fight. And it's like, how'd that motherfucker get here? Don't worry about it. Fight. But now here's a flip side of that. I did get caught. I've gotten caught pants down a couple times. So up at RPG Dungeons, I had a brand new player coming in. The group was already away fighting. They had already left the farm, left the nearest area. They had just finished a couple fights doing long rest. He's coming in. He's geographically nowhere near it. Okay, so I had to kind of do the retcon thing. Okay, you arrived 2 days in the past, and I turned to the new player. Had a conversation. Morsa sends you up the creek, and Morsa's my boy. I'm gonna
Yeah,
use him at Great Rock. He easy. It's pre-built shit for me at that point.
yeah. I like Morsa. Morsa's a good
Yeah,
character.
everyone loves him, man. So he's a good starting quest giver.
Yeah,
Just for that reason.
yeah.
And tells them, hey man, I sent a group out a couple days ago. They're actually a day late. They went up the road. They were supposed to check on a farm up there. If you could drop in at that farm, I'd really appreciate it. See if you can figure out where they are and head on back. Right? If I have a spectator, usually give them an NPC to play out, so it's kind of mid solution. That's fair. That's fair, Sharp Chris. So yeah, the first few minutes was just him, retconning the last 2 days you're traveling, and I kind of described some of the debris and the damage and the bodies that the current group had left in their wake. Yeah, as you come over the ridge, you see the circling of a few vultures. You come in, the carrion crows fly off as another mutilated orc body seems to be feasted on, hacked up, and and the rest of the players are grinning. Because at this point, I'm telling their story to the new player who's coming in.
Yeah.
A couple of them, like, I remember that shot. So they're engaged and immersed in the intro because this guy's following their trail of destruction to catch up with them.
Okay.
So I'm allowing this player to have a natural engaging. You didn't just poof in. This is what you're seeing as you're going. So he gets to the farm, right?
Yeah.
And there was one thing at the farm, they had gone, your typical save the farm from the baddie type thing, and farmers were all happy and, thank you so much, here, let's serve you breakfast. And one of the young ladies was playing was like, do you guys have baked beans? She's like, oh no, it takes me a long time to make good baked beans. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's okay. So it went aside. So he shows up a day later, right?
Yeah.
The new character rolls up on the farm, asks about the party, and they're like, well, yeah, them dudes saved us from some gnolls, and they chased them up the valley over yonder. And little old lady comes out. Could you do me a favor with this big ass Dutch oven full of baked beans? you know, and yeah, the girls, everyone starts laughing instantaneously. So it's like, so I need you to give me a couple sleight of hand checks as you make it up the road to not to spill the baked beans. Okay, so this fucking dwarf berserker. No shirt, big old mohawk looking like straight out of a Warhammer Fantasy Universe dwarf berserker, walking up the road with a fucking Dutch oven full of baked beans into the middle of a big battle. And I mean, that was not planned. That was just me using what had already happened and going, oh, new guy, welcome to the campaign. Give me a minute, we'll get you in. So yes, and now the fucking, they are begging me to give them an artificer so they can turn the Dutch oven that they're still carrying into a Dutch oven of holding. It's like the centerpiece for a couple of these guys in the campaign now. I'm gonna steal the scotch and I'm gonna put the scotch in the Dutch oven that I stole from the old people.
That's good shit.
So I mean, it was a lot of improv, it was a lot of quick, but the number one thing was making it natural, engaging the people that were in spectator mode because we're still talking about their stuff, and tying it into things that little cute little RP elements that just grow on their own. That was one of my, oh shit, new player, we start the campaign in 5, give me, and so that was one of my success stories.
Yeah.
For every good story, there's a bad story, man, where it's like, well, I don't want to go that way. I really need you to go over there right now. No, I want to go check out that store over there real quick.
Man.
Okay.
I hate that.
So the rest of the group, instantly, you see a couple guys reach for their phone, another guy kind of leans in, so there's already a negative vibe starting to kick up based on that new player's decision. So it's tricky. Spectators giving them NPCs is an option, but if you want to get, and I think Sharp, that's a good thing if you're wanting to get them in. We're in the middle of a battle type thing. I don't want you to wait a session to come play. So here's just you're a fucking hobgoblin who got captured. Give me some weapons, some armor. I'll help you kick these motherfuckers' ass. And you can go Bonsai Berserker as Shugar, the pissed off hobgoblin, and play recklessly and die because you're supposed to die. So your new character comes next week. Absolutely, that's a great idea in situations. That's a great option to have on the table.
Yeah, I don't hate that. It's not a bad idea at all. I kind of like that, actually. I might steal that from you. I mean, I don't have anywhere to use it right now, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. In certain, again, a lot of incorporating a new character, new player, same thing. I'm not even going to discern it anymore. Is going to be the timing on when us as dungeon masters decide to do it more than anything else. You don't want to bring in a new player 5 sessions before the climatic battle.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna feel, and that's another thing to kind of keep
Are you
in
allowed to
mind.
say no? Are you allowed to say no? Like in cases like that, like if they're like, hey, there's a new player that wants to join your campaign, can you go, hey, it'd be really bad for them to join this week?
I say no twice a week to people joining our campaigns that ask because we're full or it's not good timing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I have to say no. I mean,
Okay. I wasn't sure just because like the place, if they were like, no, you have to let people come in, or if you could go, look, we're literally in the middle of a fight that's going to take them 2 sessions, or like it's a big climactic thing.
I think, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Hey man, the campaign's ending in like 4 sessions. Why don't you hang loose, and we're going to start a new campaign in about 6 weeks. If you're still looking for a game, those guys, that one will all be done. It'll be ready, and you can just get a brand new start with the next group. Things like that. Obviously, now tonight is a exception that hopefully doesn't prove the rule. Think about how many times that we've had new players join into one of our campaigns. We usually do a Discord chat and some regular chat with each other before it ever touches the table. Because that's another thing. If you have the opportunity to have your players interact with each other as people, you want to do that before the dice hits the table to see if there's any just natural chemistry, or let's rephrase that. See exactly how awkward it is. It's going to be awkward. you know?
Yeah, I was
But
trying to remember
tonight
who
we're
all
not
played
doing
with him.
that. I'm sorry?
I was trying to remember who all played with him. I think it's only Cindy and I.
Yeah, Cindy and you played with them, so far, so we'll see how it all plays
Yeah.
out, you know?
I don't
But yeah,
I think that he's kind of a nervous guy, so I don't think that he's gonna do too much. I think that he's gonna have fun with it. He'll probably make a couple
yeah.
of stupid mistakes, but I don't think they're gonna be anything that's gonna be super disruptive. And
No,
it'll just be
I'm
kind of
not
funny
worried.
things.
No, I'm not worried about it. The number, but you don't know. Like I
Yeah,
said, I
yeah.
mean, this is a guy that's been, been begging for. I don't want to say begging. That's a bad thing. Been asking, consistently asking to join a campaign.
Yeah.
So in those situations, I might have an opening. Do you think you get along with everybody? You're going to get the absolute. I'm the greatest. Yeah, I'm a cool down. Blah 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 blah. Now, and that the hope is, you trust a person at their word on that. Plus, based on your experience. Now, I'm not named. There was a situation early in his D&D learning career that went really effing ugly, but he learned from it.
Okay. I didn't know that was him. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, as soon as you said that, I realized what you were talking about. I did not know that was him. Interesting.
Yes. So I like to say that it seems that he learned from it, but that's you don't know the limits of what you can do until you try it, and you don't understand why the limits are there until you see how it impacts the players around you. And that was just a learning situation. It's more relevant when recruiting players from the wild. Yeah, you usually try to only play friends. Well, this is relevant, and that's why I'm saying players or characters, because among friends, you're still going to have the player character death. You're
Yeah.
still going to have the re-roll, and you still, while at 100% with your sharp, that the personality is established already. The dynamic of bringing a new character in, based on how the player wants to play that character, can be every bit as potentially disrupting as pickup games. But yeah, you're right. This is kind of that's what we are kind of talking about earlier. It's a little bit of a niche subject, but I think now that Josh is kind of starting to DM a
And
little bit, it's something that's going to come up.
yeah. And sometimes it really is like the characters and it's not so much the players. Like, look, we have a person that we've been playing with for a while now, and I've played what 4, 5, 6 campaigns with this person, but we had one campaign where our characters were so diametrically opposed to each other that like it was like a problem within the game, and there was no anticipating that really. Like we get along in other campaigns. We currently have a campaign we've been playing for like a year and a half together,
Yeah.
but, like, yeah, just like we had these 2 characters, it's just the characters, not the people.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is
Uh,
flat out just the characters.
yeah. And then yeah, sharp support. Acknowledging that statement. When I started out 14 years ago, I was that's my character would do guy, and the shame follows me to this day. I mean, don't be ashamed about it, man. That's part of the learning process of the game.
Yeah,
It's we all did it. I mean, as a DM, I have shifted. I mean, I'm kind of shifting a little bit back more to the structure side than as structure rule wise, but still freeform otherwise. As far as going, so far into the let the players do what they want, laissez-faire point of view. Um, but I was once upon a time the rules lawyer DM, and I'm still kind of the rules lawyer. And what's the book say? What's the book say?
yeah.
I will not deviate from what the book says if I can help it.
I don't know if you heard me last night, but, that's
That's not something. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I don't know if you heard me last night when we were playing, I don't remember who it was, Cindy or Ashley. One of the 2 of them was casting a spell, and they're like, "I think it does this," and we both were like, "Read it." Like, and then, like, almost at the same time, because like, yeah, I've gotten
Yeah.
into that habit already, like, what's it actually do? Don't just tell me what you're
Yeah.
doing, like, I need to know what it actually does.
And number one, a lot of people call me a rules lawyer DM. That's something I'm never going to give up, because that's you learning as well, and that's us absolving us of having to memorize every fucking thing and get in an argument when we miss up. Oh, it was a turn, not around. My bad. Read
Yeah.
it real quick. It's okay. No big deal.
And sometimes it
But yeah,
also it works in the player's favor where they didn't think they could do something, but, like, they just misread the spell, and then you read it out and it's like, "No, that says
like,
opponent, not
oh,
creature," Like, so, like
yeah, oh, yeah. But I mean, and it goes as far as DMs being flexible in regard. Us changing characters is us pivoting campaigns. You know, being willing and able to accommodate the group, and we talked about that a couple of sessions ago as far as
Yeah.
a pivot goes. Are you as a DM so ingrained into this is what I played, this is what I'm planning on, and your characters have to adhere to this, or are we willing to as DMs kind of do the same thing? Introduce a new layer or a new dimension to our campaign to accommodate the players' shifts in movement, stuff like that. So, I mean, I know it's not necessarily incorporating a new player, but at the same time, it's incorporating a new idea and incorporating a new branch into your player. It's all kind of it can be connected to each other. But yeah, like I said, player and character is interchangeable in my mind. The only difference might be the personality. You have an advantage on the personality when you're a current group changing characters, but you still have the same potential for disruption and planning and stuff like that.
Um, this goes back to something the other day, where I wonder sometimes if it is more character than player, as far as like when we have like bad players, but like certain things like rules lawyers, like those people are always going to be that way regardless of what character they play, right? But I
Yeah.
wonder if like if you took the edge lord, the guy who's like, I'm dark blade slinger death, that's just like oh, he looks at me wrong, I stab him in the gut, that guy. Like, I wonder if at any point in time, if you were to go, no, you're not playing this character anymore, you're playing this person now, and you're actually a druid, and you only have healing spells. Like, I wonder if like you gave them a character like that, if that would change how they play, or if they would try to still kill things.
Number one, they'd have to be willing to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
But I don't know if they're a talented player, then they'll be able to adapt just fine. But the more than that is the propensity to continue to choose the same character type of personality over and over again just shows a person is that's who they want. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know. But now this is the
Yeah.
flip side of things. I don't want to sound like some jaded old man, even though I am kind of a jaded old man. When you're first learning about D&D, the things that are cool about the world and cool about your interest are very easy to transfer into D&D. It's really hard when you first start learning and playing to play a completely alien concept, or something really out of your. I'm kind of an edgy dude anywhere, or I wish I could be an edgy dude, so I'm gonna play an edgy dude as I learn how to play this game, because playing an edgy dude is easy for me because that's what I want. That's what I know, or at least envision myself as. So I think as the player starts learning the game and seeing that there's a lot more fun ways to play the game, they'll start shifting around. They end up where you're at. Um, I want to play a chair that got polymorphed into a person who doesn't know what they were before
Oh,
this. Blah blah
look,
blah blah
you
blah.
have
Silly,
no
crazy bullshit
idea
idea.
how long lately I've been thinking about how I do 3 people on top of each other in a trench coat, or, like, I have a goblin that's actually an artificer piloting a human that is pretending to be an artificer, like, I've been trying to figure
Personal
this
ick.
out for a minute.
Sharp kicks in, says I have personal ick to any alpha wolf type character and any character whose whole gimmick is fighting while in darkness. Yeah, it's
It's not fair to Drow or fucking what do you call them? Dark dwarf guys. What the hell are they called?
regard.
Duergar, yeah. It's not fair to
Well, they
them.
don't
Their
have
whole
sunlight sensitivity. They don't have that anymore.
yeah, they do.
Remember? No.
Unless they took it away because
The NPCs do, but the players don't.
I'm fairly certain they still
Toss
have
just took
it.
all that stupid shit away,
Oh, I was
man.
gonna say it must have been in an update then, yeah, because like I was like I know that I was taking it when I was playing a Dark Elf
Yeah.
because I
But
was like, this
I mean, I
sucks. Like
digress.
I'm cool at night, but during the day, this is awful.
The only character I have a problem with at this point is the main character syndrome guy. The no matter what I have to do, I'm going to make it about me this session and every session. I don't mind the alpha because it's kind of funny you bring that up. One of my one of the campaigns I had, it was funny. We had a rogue and a monk come in, and I let the rogue talk first. He says, "I pull my cloak close and drop my hood down, and I go sit in the corner and I brood." And the monk comes in and says, "I look at him in the corner that I wanted, and I move to the other corner and I sit down. I'm gonna cloak in and I brood." So both of the Broody brothers are now a fucking running joke. So the rest of the group just laughs at him. Oh, he took your corner, and they're leaning into it. They love it. So it went from the dark brooding character just to kind of a fun in joke that they're having with each other. So I mean, I don't mind it until any character thing until it's taken to the point that it's disruptive to the group. I
Yeah.
guess that's where my personal limit is.
I
You want to be
feel
the edge lord, be the edge lord. Just don't be detrimental to the group. You want to be the chaos goblin, be the chaos goblin, but don't be the one that takes over the direction of the group because of your stupidity. You know.
fair, fair.
But at the same time, I got 4 to 7 other people at that table to tell Mr. Chaos Goblin to slog right off. When that happens, why you don't Y'all tell me all 6 of y'all couldn't have dogpiled him and kept him from doing that? How's it my job to always patrol the behavior of you? It's not my job. It's my job to give you the consequences of what you let each other fucking do. You know?
So let me ask you this.
My tables range between 5 and 8 right now, Sharp Chris.
Let me ask you this. Because the setting fire thing last night.
Mhm.
That was a thing where I was expecting Ashley to tell me no. So that's why I was like, I pull out my flints, my flints, and I'm like, I'm gonna just set this place on fire. And I looked at her when I said, I'm like, I look at her and I say this to her, and she was like, "All right, cool," and I was like, "Fuck." I know that I shouldn't do this as like the actual me, but like, and I was so is that an excuse at that point in time? If I would have actually done the fire, could I have been like, I gave them an opportunity to say no before I did it. I
Well,
eh,
again,
I was gonna stop myself regardless, but I'm just saying, like
here, if you chose to do it and you own it, I don't care.
okay,
What I don't like is the whole, well, no one stopped me. No one told me not to. You're a grown ass fucking
yeah,
person.
no,
And now you're going to pawn off the consequences for your bad behavior onto the rest of the group not stopping you. Well, that is legit. Because if the rest of the group getting mad at you and you're suffering consequences, you tell the rest of the group to fuck off. Hey, man, I'm going to jail. I paid for what I did. If y'all had a problem with it, you should have stopped me. That is legit there. If the group is just being it is what it
yeah.
is. But yeah,
I guess what I guess what I was differentiating between the I just did a thing and the I announced this to my group that I was going to do a thing and then nobody stopped it. That was a difference or not in your mind. That's kind of what I was getting at.
yeah. Well, but again, I mean, if it's something that you as a player want to blame your group for you doing, maybe you need to rewind on your decision to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said I was never
If you're willing to
gonna
do it and own it, then do it and
yeah,
own it, baby. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. That's why I said I was not gonna do it unless I got approval from somebody. For them to be like, well, we have no other ideas. Go ahead, man. Like,
And as a DM, I stay out of that shit. I
yeah,
just let whatever
because
happens happen, man.
yeah,
You
because
know?
in my mind, I was like, "There's no way that this fucking house is gonna catch on fire." But if I burn all of this hay out, I might find the actual needle that we need in order to get to the next thing. I was so convinced there was a needle in that hay. I really was. I was like, "This is the kind of place where she would play some stupid fucking game where you needed to find a needle in a haystack that was a key to get into another place." And I'm like, I was so convinced. I was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a little bit of a spoiler thing, once you start learning about it, if you speak the Cyrillic phase and use a certain series of knocks on the front door, it takes you to the room you need to go to from the front door. So the room that you guys have gone, the section that the first two rooms that you guys went in, the room in the hut in the basement, Yaga and Igwil don't even ever go in there. That's why no one that goes in and out of that place goes in that room except for new travelers. That's why it's just ever coated in dust.
Interesting.
They know how to knock, say the phrase and knock, and they open the door and it goes to area F4, for example, straight from the front door instead.
That's cool. That's cool. And now I'm thinking
But
about
they're
how to
also
use this.
attuned to the hut, you know.
Now I'm thinking
But
about how to
once you
use
get
this.
in there, that's the whole trick. Is you've got to figure out the knock system and the password system to use the different doors to get to the different sections of the internal part of the dimensions. Weird. It's Don't worry about that much for right now.
Okay, because now that's making me wonder if like there's are all the doors special like that, or is it just certain doors?
Four.
Or okay, okay. Because I was like, man, does that mean that at any point in time we could have stopped at a door, done a special knock, and gone to a right place?
There's four that work internally unless you're Baba Yaga or Igwilv.
Okay,
Um, and then for them, any door goes wherever they want. Yeah, Baba Yaga is not limited in her own house,
yeah,
you know. But so anyway, it's like I said last night, I was kind of joking about that. My concern with those kind of dungeons, I guess we'll call it, is being fair.
yeah.
I want to give you guys a fair chance at getting stuff without being obvious, and it was like that's why I was like the stone slab, a brazier sitting atop a stone slab. Other than that, the flagstone floor looks like the flagstone floor is the cobblestone floor is uniform except for the stone slab sitting under the brazier. As you look under the bed, you see some fluff and some torn rags, and you see a spider skitter off up the bedpost to climb up under the mattress. And as you look across, all you can see across the floor is the stone slab that the Brazer's sitting under. How many fucking times did I say it, dude? Seriously. Now that you're hearing me say that over, it's all going
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
At least 9 times I described that stone slab under the Brazier in exactly those terms.
Yeah.
That was the one clue to the one way out of the room. And that was, there's the last thing you always look at. But they did a lot of shit before they finally just went to check around that stone slab sitting under the Brazier.
Yeah. And did it reluctantly at that because everybody was pissed off because we were like, it's going to be something simple like this. This is going to be it.
Yeah, homie's
like,
about to burn down the entire attic to find a needle after I described the stone slab. But, it starts out simple and it gets really fucked up really quick from there.
Look, I am doing everything. I am literally touching every fucking wall now just because of the one mistake of walls. That's why I'm like, I'm pushing every fucking wall. Maybe I can make this house bigger and it'll go out to the rooms that I need it to be in.
And, and I described it as you pound on the wall, you knock on it, you hear the sound of wood, but it has the texture of pounding on a mountain. There's no give whatsoever between the wooden wall and whatever's behind it. You may as well be punching Mount Everest right now for the give that it has. So, reinforcing hopefully in your mind that we are in a stuck, fixed place.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of it. I'm not even lying. Like, Cosmar is...
You're having fun.
Yeah, Cosmar as a character is 100% digging this place because it is pure fucking chaos in here. It's just like, I love this place. Every room we go into is completely fucking different, and it's just more wild than the last room.
If you guys are joining in late, by the way, welcome. Thanks. We're now talking about the Dancing Hut of Baba Yaga. We're just jumping around a little bit tonight. My players, if you're interested, tune in every other Thursday. It'll be 2 weeks from last night, unfortunately. This is one of the campaigns, what we do in the Shadows of Barovia that Josh streams for us.
It's a good time.
They're actually in the pantry kitchen area of the Dancing Hut of Baba Yaga. They've passed through the freezer and saw themselves hanging from meat hooks all the way down to poor little Jerry, little sock puppet impaled on a fucking hook. But yeah, so it's a weird jacked up place. This is actually officially module S5, published back for second edition. Actually, it was published for first edition rules, but it was a second edition era publication. Go figure that out. You could find it out on all kinds of fun module. If you don't mind doing some mental gymnastics to do the setup for it. It is a little bit hard keeping track of passwords, knocks, which door goes to which section after they use this password and this knock. I even get a little mixed up. It's a cool dungeon. That's really cool.
That's why I really, really, really appreciate DM maps versus and player maps where it's like, here's the map, but none of the shit that I can see is marked on it. And it's like, okay, I can see every secret door. This is where all the traps are. Ooh, I had someone say a really cool idea for a dungeon. Which is you go into a dungeon, and as you progress through it, you start to notice that every trap is facing the wrong way. And I think that's a really cool setup for a dungeon because that means that dungeon is set up to keep something in it, not to keep you out of it.
Well, most are. It's a lot of fucking trouble to crate in a bee here from wherever you capture that bitch to trap it in a cave downstairs to trap your money. You don't want to leave the fucking front door open for him to run right the fuck back out, man. You know?
That's fair.
At least that's my mentality for it. Yeah. If it's big enough for something to squeeze out to go hunting for food, you damn well bet it'll be. If most of the guys that are here, you hear me stream, you hear me rant about it all the time. Every dungeon is a living dungeon. As we're joking about, we now call the thunderclap spells the milkshake because it's gonna bring all the boys to the yard underground, baby. You'd let that fucker off, everything within a half a mile is gonna come running for that sound.
There's just
if you play with Umber Hulks, every Umber Hulk for 5 miles come hunting because they rely on sonic vibrations for food, something like that. You just got permission to add 3 Humber Hulks and a Purple Worm to your encounter when people use a Thunderclap underground. Straight up ecology supporting that, not me. It's in the rule book. Go ahead and read it. So eat your party the fuck up when they start letting off big shit underground, man. Hell yeah.
That'd be fucked. I'd be so upset. I would dip. When any of them dropped, I'd be like, no, fuck that. Like, go the other way.
Oh man, but that's being mean. That's being so mean. I'm done. But anyway, man, we've been bouncing all over today on our chat, but
Yeah.
it's fun. That's cool though, man. Bullshitting is bullshitting. We should have called it. I need to call it just chatting next time.
I mean, yeah, we
But,
could do it just chatting. Um, I really like these streams because like we get to talk about some of this stuff, like especially like campaign stuff, and I can like shoot things like here's theories, and
yeah,
you can be like, yes, no, that's not at all what's going on. I
yeah,
kind of dig stuff. On the topic though, the Barovia campaign is one that
yes.
I would not add anyone into, right?
No, no, no,
Right?
nope, nope, nope. I I I added added Cindy because she's my wife and she asked.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And
That wasn't a plan. But that was a yeah. But that's my wife. Yes, she gets to
that's
play when she asks. But
that is
outside of that,
the
hell no.
that is the couples stream that is
Yep.
it's a
Josh and his better half, Thomas and Ashley, and me and my wife and I play in that stream,
yeah.
or she plays IDM. So no,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's a chemistry
that's
thing
the
and I'm
only
fun.
reason I was like even okay with Cindy coming in because like I was thinking about it because I was like Sam and I are just going to favoritism each other because of that. Ashley and Thomas are going to favoritism each other, and I was like, I don't want somebody to be left out. And I was like, well, that's Jim's wife, so like she's not being left out. So
Oh
yeah, because otherwise I would like, I don't. Yeah, I think that would mess it up. I feel like it'd be
yeah.
weird.
She gets to be like the bitchy older sister that had to take the teenagers out on double dates. Straight up,
Um,
you know?
Also, Imogene and I could not be left alone together because both of us are burn it down kind of people, and we cannot be left alone together. Because immediately she was like, "Yeah, burn it, man, let's go." Like,
It's a lot of fun.
yeah,
It's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's yeah, that would be 100%. You That's a good delicate balance in the chemistry. The party interplay exceeds works the way it does because it's all couples that are playing it,
yeah,
so adding that kind of stuff into that would be no. Adding I wouldn't mind being at 6 on Greyhawk as well, so we could get over skips again.
yes,
Aside from plot points, I kind of have a rule. I want to have 4 people at a table at any point. So if we're playing at 5, and we're all a bunch of grown ass adults, man, and life be happening. Shit, my wife, who plays in most of my campaigns, is a respiratory therapist in the ER. We get sick a lot around here. It is what it is. Y'all be coughing and snotting all over her ER. Unfortunately, I come home with her sometimes. Don't be coughing and snotting in your ER. Put on a fucking mask when you go to see them. I'm kidding. Not really.
you
But
know,
anyway, uh,
I would say that's something that I actually appreciate, like since the whole Backstreet Boys tour, is um that people actually are wearing masks when they get sick now, which is awesome.
but I digress. Life happens. I've
Yeah,
got a school teacher in one of my campaigns. There's a few times of the year that she's just not gonna be able to play. Exam times,
yeah,
report card turn in end of quarter, end of semester. She's just not able to play. Life happens, and the guy that we're talking about joining in for our game tonight, he had to drop for 9 months because guess what? Had kids. You know,
twins, yeah,
life happens. Life happens. So I got to also plan around that as a DM. We all have to plan around that as a DM. How do you handle a long term absence if you know someone's going to be out for 4 months or something? Do you bring in someone to fill them in, or do you go shorthanded and hope they come back? What happens if you
ooh,
bring someone short? And this is a friend thing and not only a pickup thing as well. And this is something that if you haven't faced yet, good on you. If you have faced it, I'd be interested to see how you guys handle it because it is something that I plug and play. If you're going to be out, you're going to be out for a while. Your spot's up for grabs, and if I can bring someone else in, because I want the game to go on, and if I have 4 players out of 6, I can make the game go on. If I have 5 out of 6, I can make it go on. If I got 3 out of 5, I don't want to play it. You know.
no, that's fair. I was actually just giving that thought of, but there would be really no reason to replace somebody if they're going to be a long term absence. If they were your sixth player, you can still run five. If one person's out, you can still run your four. Because I was thinking about like if you were to replace that person and they finally come back, what do you do at that point in time?
Exactly, exactly. So I mean, but that's a viable scenario that you may end up facing, or you go short. Where our group's down to 4, our group's down to 3. And then at what point do you say, you know what, we're made way too much progress. It's gonna be so messed up when these other 2 come back. They're not gonna know what's going on. Let's just pause the campaign and start our own new campaign. Dude, that
And
happens so much as a
then that
kid.
becomes a new
So much as
campaign,
a kid, man. And
which
that becomes a
sucks.
new campaign all of a sudden. And then everyone wants to come back and all the guys that are showing up every week are into the new campaign. No, we're playing this one more week. We put the other campaign on hold so we wouldn't advance past you guys, but we're in the middle of this right. Yeah, there's a lot of little shit that pop up over a long-term D&D playgroup, man.
Yeah.
And now if you're blessed and you're playing with just your family, captive audience mode, then most of this shit ain't gonna apply to you. Until your 12-year-old becomes a 14-year-old and starts getting interested in the opposite sex, or then they realize that their friends are way cooler to hang out with than mom and dad, and then all of a sudden you're 2 players short in your home playgroup.
That's fair. It's wild that we all go through that moment of like, wait a second. My friends are cooler than you.
And what's even more gratifying is a few years later when they come back and go, my friends are fucking assholes. Can we play? Hey, Vigilant, how you doing, man?
I do.
So,
I
mean,
do,
but your play groups are going to vary based on life, based on schedule. At what point is it okay to bring in a new person? At what point is it okay to end a campaign because everyone dropped out? That's all part of the adding and subtracting players equation. Subtracting players seems kind of easy. And most of the time, as long as you don't mind killing the fool off because they ain't going to show up next week, it's easy.
Andrew said, "Don't worry, I'm watching you too." Vigilant, sorry, Jesus, I gotta get better about that.
Docsmaster 2000. That's what we rename
Vigilant,
you.
Vigilant Gamers' first, middle, and last name are thusly. I don't even know if you guys do social security numbers. I have a fucking bump on my tongue. It's been bothering me. Do you call them liars bumps? I've always that's why my mom always called them those little bumps that you get on your tongue from time to time. My mom always used to call. She used to call it's just on my tongue.
Oh,
it's just like I bit my tongue. It's just like a little yeah. But my mom used to always call them liars bumps. She said like you only got them if you lied to people. This is what she always would tell me. Yeah.
Bite thy tongue, but then I'll get a liar bump. I don't know what to do. So, but man, I don't know. It's I've gone through the whole gambit of stuff. Like I said, I feel bad trying to comment on a lot of this because my situation is so fucking unique nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff is just out of context of a normal DM.
And we have so many people that go in and out of the same campaigns that it's really not a big deal to, drag and drop people.
Yeah, it's just part of playing for me at this point. I mean, even it's like, yeah, I've got a lot of games, but I've got paid games, public open games, but I also got a lot of friends campaigns. So I mean, I'm still doing the same thing on both sides of the coin, but I'm so used to it at this point. It's like blinking, like breathing. I used to get all kinds of bent out and upset, and what can we do to keep you in the campaign? Bye. I've got 5 people asking to join. It's okay.
See, and that's one of the things that I hate. That's and it's nobody's fault, but we have so many people on our server that aren't playing games, that I know want to play games, and it's nobody's fault. There's just not enough DMs to run the games,
There's been 2 or 3 different times that we've made an attempt to do a guaranteed someone will run a game on Saturday or Sunday
and people
once a month for anyone that wants to play, and there's no feedback. I'm not, and then that's one of those things that I'm not going to get upset at them if they don't want to do it. I do get concerned that out of 50 something people on that server, we've got dude, there are 20 people in games right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
That ain't bad.
That's not bad.
For a Discord server that started out off of a Facebook post 4 years ago that said, "Hey, trying to get better at 5e, who wants to play with me?" And we're sitting here with a Discord group running, 20-ish players constantly. That's not a bad thing. We're not doing bad. Not doing bad. But all of that being said, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to, now that you're starting to DM, now that Vigilant, part of our game group server, is starting to get his wings back and getting back into DMing. Hopefully that more people will have game opportunities, and hopefully more people will be inspired to DM. My whole goal was always to get. I love the concept of the West Marches game. But the fact that we have so much good campaign content, I'd love to have 3 or 4 people that are willing to run a West Marches server where it's drop in, drop out play, but that takes a lot of commitment from multiple DMs,
Yeah.
you know? It's getting back there. It's
I
getting there,
was I
dude.
was literally
I'm not worried
just
about
thinking about, like, if we were to do that, like, before you even went into it, I was like, You're gonna have to give me, like, the gnome and, like, halfling areas because like, all of my
it.
shit's
Okay.
gonna be silly, so, like, I need the areas where I can be silly in it.
And that's where those kind of campaigns are so great. You're handling the relaxed, silly, chill, the Kron Hills, the Dwarf Grounds, some of the Ulet County, the Fairy Kingdom of Selene. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. As I'm seeing this, I know you're seeing it in your brain. That one big ass chunk of forest with that crest of hills around it. That would be yours. And when people played with you, they know they would be in a kind of that kind of a theme. My ass would be hammering on the heavy political shit. We're down in Cronwall. We're down in ID. The Scarlet Brotherhood's breathing down your neck, and then I'm up on the other side up here, and then I'd give whoever wanted to go goth crazy and bring Barovia to Greyhawk, have fun with the Great Kingdom and Ivid the Undying. Then we still have all the generic areas in the middle that we can dip in and out of. So
Yeah,
whenever players play, they can pick, this sounds fun this week. I'll play this one. Oh, you're
and
playing too? But we
and
got to
the
have a lot of DMs to do it.
the fun thing about that as well is, being able to both A, interact with other play groups, but B, is that because those places are there, you can dip into those other worlds, into those other places that have been affected by your other teams, or
Mhm.
that or and it's like I can go to the Gothland for a little bit, even though if I want to do silly whimsical shit for the most part, I can go do vampires and werewolves for a little bit and come back
But no, the idea
or do
is
Twilight.
that in addition to, you've got a couple, 4 or 5 different characters.
Yeah.
I want to play silly. Let me get my silly character. Oh, let me bring my elf over. We're gonna do Selene against the orcs. Fuck yeah. Um, Vampire Hunter 101. We're reliving the freaking charge through Mediga, and we're gonna kill all these demon worshippers in the fucking Great Kingdom. Let me get out my freaking Vengeance Paladin. You know, I want to be evil today. Let's play bad guys. Hey, Jim, are you running? Yeah, Bandit Kingdoms 101. Okay, I'm bringing out my Hobgoblin Warlord. We're gonna have some fucking fun taking over Furiondi. Straight up, man. But you need DMs, a lot of DMs, and you need an agreed upon setting that everyone is willing to work with. That's not going to constantly. Well, wait a minute. Last week the forest was there. Now it's here. That's the thing that a lot of the West Marches homebrew campaigns start breaking down on. Because this DM wants mountains over here, but the other DM said, "No, wait a minute. I already have a fucking ocean over there. You can't do that. Use
Have
a
an
world that's already
established
built. You ain't
map.
got to sweat
Yeah.
that
That's
shit."
what I'm saying, yeah, have an established map, and there's no problem.
Yeah, exactly. We all know what's going on in the Sea of Mediga. We all know what's going on in the Kron Hills. We all know what's going on in the Antle Mountains.
Yeah,
There'll be a few big checkpoints that, oh, I'm going to run White Plume. Fuck yeah, good luck. Here's some tips from last time when I ran it.
yeah,
Because there's some story reasons for White Plume to be redoable.
yeah, yeah, because it resets. But even past that, like, you could feasibly like, even if it was, like, in close succession, you could send your party there for a whole different reason, and you can see
Yeah.
the aftermath of the last party, you
Yep.
know?
So, those kind of campaigns are in a perfect world, that's what we're running. But here is lies the rub is we've got you DMing every other week.
Yeah,
We've got Vigilant DMing, I think once a week, once every other week. I'm not sure what his schedule is right now. He's got a closed group for his friends on his time zone. Understand?
yeah.
That's the other challenge we
That's
got. We got
Australia.
probably 8 of our players are 8 of our 40ish playars are fucking Anzac, Australian time zone.
Yeah,
So the fact that we're able to play as much as we do is astounding. If we want to be honest,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
Second tomorrow, and we're back next week. Okay, there you go.
I
So
was
yeah,
actually wondering about that.
Vigilant's running 2 games. You're running 1. So eventually, hopefully, we get to the point where everyone's got their wheels under them, and that's at least 3 of us. We get 1 or 2 more DMs that are willing to just do kind of fill in here and there, run their own thing within the world. Then we're in business.
Yeah,
But the caveat is, I've got 7 pay games in the next 10 days, and when we go to the new shop in March, I'm probably going to be DMing 5 days a week up there.
yeah.
So my availability for the West March is going to come down to once every couple of weeks at best.
Yeah,
You
and that was
know,
kinda what I was thinking, until our campaigns, like, because I know you're about to get more busy, so some of our campaigns are probably gonna wrap up or get to going to twice a week kinda stuff. Because like, I was just thinking about it, I was like, "Fuck," even if I wanted to run another game, it'd have to be, like, on a Sunday or a Monday because, like, I and playing D&D.
got some of the games going
I'm
on.
playing 4 to 5 times a week already, running a campaign on the off week that I'm not. And it's like, I don't have time to run another one.
Man, I think anyone new to our server guy probably think our streams like these motherfuckers play
We
way too
do.
much D&D.
We play
Guilty as
a
charged.
lot.
Guilty as charged, man. Too much fucking D&D going. Is there such thing?
Yeah,
No, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I
so.
hadn't hit it yet.
I don't yeah. I was always thinking
Dude, I
like
got a game tonight that I'm excited for. I've got a brand new campaign launching tomorrow that I'm really jazzed for. I have to do a fill-in campaign Sunday for a DM that went out of town. It's a generations group. It's a parents and their kids group. That's
that's
gonna be a
cool.
lot of fun.
That's cool.
Just a one shot with parents and their kids playing D&D, and then I get to play my group in Planescape Part 2 of the trip to Automata Sunday night. I'm fucking jazzed for all of it.
I
You
ha
know.
I haven't
So
watched
is there too much D&D Monday morning when I can't talk? Yeah, that's too much D&D.
I love seeing stuff like that, like campaigns where it's like parents and their kids playing together.
Mhm.
There's this I haven't watched it yet, but there's this series that's on YouTube that's like high school kids that are just learning to play D&D, and it's like their science teacher or something like that is running the campaign. And it's just like it's really like I started watching the first episode, and it's like them like really learning how to play D&D for the first time and just getting into it. And they did like I think like 3 seasons of it, like 3 years of it. And
Now,
that's
this is where I
wild.
have to be absolutely full disclosure, man. I am losing a lot of content creation time to prep now. I'm not making a lot of new maps. I haven't been able to do a lot of writing, been building any of my library of tables or any of that shit because I'm prepping 2-3 hours a day every day for 5 hour session that night, and then doing my stream and then doing my YouTube shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is the direction that. But guess what? I got to pay bills so I can do D&D for another year, man. So mercenary DM it is.
See, that's cool though. I'm really glad that you get to like actually go on and like do like this kind of thing for I guess professionally. I guess you're yeah. I don't want to put quotes around it because it technically is professional. You're getting paid to do it.
Yeah, I'm getting paid to
Yeah,
run
and I think
sessions
that's
as a
cool.
DM. Last year, I didn't make a bunch of money, but I made enough to where I have to report it to the fucking IRS as a content creator. You know,
Yeah.
so I guess my first year wasn't bad because I'm like this is literally month 13. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
that's cool.
So I mean,
Oh,
yeah, guy, it looks like I said, I sound like I'm griping, but I am so thankful and blessed for the opportunity to do something that I love and to make even a minimal income doing it. Because I was making a shit ton of money doing something that I hated that made my hair fall out, my blood pressure spike up, and made me eat my ass till I was 280 fucking pounds. Because the only time I got away from my desk was lunchtime. I made a lot of money firing a lot of people, destroying a lot of people's livelihoods and careers. I'll take being a broke ass motherfucker playing D&D versus corporate America any goddamn day, man. Straight up.
yeah. 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 No, that's fair. Um, that's why I keep
I
telling.
remember that.
That's why I keep telling Sam you gotta become a famous artist so that I can stop working and I can start doing all this kind of stuff. I said,
Right?
look, I promise you, you become a famous artist, I'll become a trophy husband.
Well, again, that doesn't work without the hardcore support of the wife making good money in the
Yeah.
healthcare field. So, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a lot of, but it's also I have learned so fucking much more about Dungeons and Dragons and dungeon mastering in the last 6 months of doing this than I have in the last 5 years of 3 years of 5e. Because we've been, I mean, I don't want to be critical
And it's
to any
just
of our
yeah,
friends or
because
our server. We've been playing Echo Chamber for a long time,
yeah, that's fair.
playing the same method, the same people. Maybe we change the campaign theme and setting ever so slightly, but we have a rhythm that goes on.
Yeah.
So being able to play and having to learn how to play with uh, who knows who's sitting down Saturday. I know I've got 4 people that have paid for their tickets already, and I know there's 2 more tickets, but I also know if 4 people walked in to pay cash, they would all be at the table. Welcome to paid DMing, dude.
I'm gonna say this, and
Bing
this
bong, good to see you, cat of mile, long time.
and
Hey,
I
hope
don't
you're
know if
doing
this is a
well.
me thing or if this is like just everybody. I like playing with new players. I really do.
Oh yeah,
I
great,
think it's
great.
a good time. I think people who are brand new at the game come in and they have like such like amazing ideas because they're not like burdened with all of this like knowledge that of the game and stuff like that. Because like they're like Sam all the time like has no clue what certain things are. So she just does stuff, and it's like, oh, that's cool, you know? Or like we'll do something and she'll still have to go, hey, what is it? What does that mean? Like when we were playing last night, she was like, what's disengage? Like why? Like what does that mean? It's like I had to explain that to her, and I think that's really cool because like they don't know that they can do that stuff, and it's like they're like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that I could do that. Like it's always exciting.
I mean, humble brag, insane, whatever. I have played with 142 people since I started up here. Different people
That's wild.
since I started doing this pick up this paid games up at the RPG Dungeon over in
That's
Color.
wild.
It's insane. I've got 38 people plus any rando sign ups that are already scheduled for the next 7 games. 38 different people that I've got to play with, and that's not including my friends groups, dude.
Oof.
So yeah, it's learning all the time, learning how to manage situations a lot, learning how to manage personalities instantaneously to make sure everyone's enjoying themselves and having fun, and it's a trip.
Let me ask you a question.
Pocket sand, right? There you go, Catamayo.
Let
Throw
me,
sand in their eyes.
let me ask you a question. You don't have to name names. I'm just curious about this because like 38 people, that's a lot of different personalities. Is there anybody in that you're just like, I can't stand this motherfucker?
3.
There's 3 of them. Okay.
And that's where I'm reminded that I'm getting paid, so I just need to go ahead and take the good with the bad every once in a while.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a couple that I'm like, oh, hi, you know.
It's one of those where like
That's
you
where it's
want them
not a
to die,
player.
but they
I
just
gotta.
won't.
It's not a player at that point. It's a customer at that point.
Yeah. I was just
Yeah.
curious
So
because I
it's
was like, there's got to be at least one that you're just like,
oh yeah,
I wish this person was gone.
yeah. There's a couple. There's a couple. Well, I'm saying that for right now. It may. I've actually got Saturday. I've got one, two, three, four, and then I haven't met any of the people on Sunday. The filling game I'm doing. So I've got 10 people that I've never met before that I'm about to play with.
Man, that takes a lot of guts. It really does. It really does. Like
Oh man,
even DMing, like when I do it with like you guys and stuff like that, I still am nervous as hell that I'm gonna mess something
I know
up.
Catamayo.
It's like I
Catamayo's asked. Go
no,
ahead, Sid.
but no, I was just saying I can't imagine doing it like in public with like a bunch of random people every fucking week. Like that's wild to me. I do not have the confidence for that. It'll happen eventually.
Somewhere,
Just not there
so
yet.
repetition, man.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, Catamayo was just kind of kicking in hashtag payday. He had asked, they'd asked, have any of those people gotten better over time? One of them is on the fence because I went Old Testament on them. I don't know if you caught us a few weeks ago when we were talking about how far is too far with DM Fiat. When does DM abuse their power? This was the I love the statement in Under Siege by Tommy Lee Jones. If you fuck up, I will shoot you and the man next to you. This was the man next to them for the whole group to suddenly learn. Oh damn! This is so the whole ethereal trip. You know.
Yes. Yes.
So this particular player is adapting very well to that situation that was put upon them. So that's an example of I think they are getting better. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're growing into the next session as it goes. A couple others, they are who they are. It is what it is, and it's okay. You know, my limit is when it disrupts the table, and I will say that I'll say, okay, guys, yeah, you paid for your time. So did these other 5 people that are sitting here you're wasting their time arguing with me over something. While I value your time and I value your update, we're here to play a game. So how about you join me for a cigarette after the session and we can argue about this all you want. But for right now, we need to keep going because now you're wasting their fucking money. And it ends instantly at that point.
Man. There's got to be those fucking neckbeard guys that are out there talking to you afterwards about stuff that's just like, ugh, go away. That's one
Well,
of the downsides
dude,
to being a nerd is
some
that there's
people
some
look at
nerds that
me and
are like,
say I'm one of those neckbeard guides.
eh,
Dude, I don't know where it ends. You know, I don't know. I don't
I,
get judgy on that anymore.
I guess it's
There's
fair.
a
I guess it's fair. Everybody has that line for them. There's always that guy that's like on the rung below that's just like, man, you're so much worse than I am. There's
I
always
mean,
a bigger
honestly,
fish.
there is a huge variety of people that play D&D.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
got a Planescape group. I've got a part-time fireman with a law degree who practices what is it, justice advocate or whatever, who goes for
Wow.
the criminal dudes getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I've got a doctor that can't go a session without having to step away because some sort of fucking ER call's going on. All creeds, all colors,
Do they
all
still have
sexes, all
beepers?
professions. So it's really neat. No, he get his phone call and had to go out
Okay.
there and
I
shit.
wasn't sure if they still had
No,
pagers or not.
no. So I mean, it's so I mean, but that's one of the refreshing things of doing a lot of the pickup gaming is when we talk about D&D being mainstream, dude, there's a huge variety of people that are playing this game
Yeah,
right now.
D&D's
There
more
are the
popular than it's
prototypical
ever been.
there are a lot of the prototypical I bet you that's a D&D player, you know, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
few shit, I look like that on some of my days that I roll up there all, it is what it is. But it's, I mean, shit, one of the favorite players I got to play with is she's a fucking military intelligence specialist she's a reserve who's active duty right now.
What's she playing? What's she
And
playing?
this chick is smart as scary. Holy shit. I mean, I enjoyed playing with her, but I was also super intimidated at the table with her because we were doing a murder mystery. She had that shit figured out. She handed me a piece of paper like a half hour in. I was like, and she's like, I won't say, we'll play. It's okay. I was like, fuck. I got 4 hours and she's going to fake it like she didn't figure it out half an hour ago. Okay. Oh.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah, you just want to have fun, exactly. So I mean, that's one of the really refreshing things about it. It's not the sweaty metalhead geeky kids in the library anymore type of thing. It's every walk of life. It's parents playing with kids, professionals from every fucking business spectrum are represented up here, and I played with most of the operation. It's fun. It's neat. You know.
Do you have anybody that plays characters that you wouldn't expect them to play? Like do you have like the badass military intelligence chick who's just like, I want to play like a fairy and I want to do like I can't think of like something that's like very like out of stereotype for like what you would expect them to play.
She was an elven rogue. She played an elven rogue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like, do you have people that do that kind of stuff? Where it's like the guy who rocks up that is like the stereotypical metalhead guy, and he's like, I'm actually playing a paladin for Saint Cuthbert, and he like
By
really plays
Thursday,
into it.
well, okay, I'm not necessarily going to say character per se, but how they play the character. I've seen some really fun, unique takes on that. Uh, for example, one of the groups I had a new guy start in, and he's a half orc barbarian. No, I'm sorry, a half orc Eldritch Knight. You know,
Okay.
so he comes in and he's describing himself as this big burly dude, and he kind of sits in the corner and he says, "But I keep my eyes on the ground the whole time. I don't look up at anybody." So the first person in the party walks up, "Hey, buddy. Oh, please don't I just got here." So he plays this gigantic fucking psycho barbarian warrior as the most timid, tame, kind-hearted thing in the world, and I fucking love him for it,
That's
dude.
awesome.
And so it's like you got this short little dwarf is like, "Oh, orc," charges at him, and the guy's like, I literally like pick up my like there's a mouse charging at me up on my stool as the so these two went and as a DM, initially red light bulb, red flag goes on. Oh fuck, my dwarf's gonna go Zerker on this guy and say it's what my character would do. And but the dwarf player is always super belligerent. He's like the scene in Happy Gilmore. I was always ready to punch you, but I was ready. So yeah, it was that whole thing. Over the course of an hour and a half, it went from "let's fight orc" to "you leave my orc brother alone." And orc like hiding, trying to crouch behind the door, going, "Yeah." It's fucking great.
That's good.
So yeah, so it's me doing archery with the students after school D&D time, boys. Hell yeah, amen, Cat. So making sure that the challenge that I found so far, and it's not the biggest challenge, guys, I got to be 100% honest, man. The paid games, what I was expecting for the player base versus what I'm seeing is so different. They're appreciative of each other. They're respectful of each other in almost all cases. They're there to work with each other, to collaborate with it. I have nowhere near the spider webbing going on in the paid games that we see in our live games, even though I run the same style. We're a sandboxy world. This is what's going on here, but there's nothing ever stopping you from going west instead of east. Well, didn't we get a mission to go east? Yeah, well, we want to go east, right? Everyone's like, yeah, let's go east. I'm like, well, bless your little hearts. Bless your pea picking hearts. So the groups generally seem very focused. But when it devolves into chaos, it goes into chaos. And when people dig their heels because they paid for their time, they feel the right to stand where they dug their heels. So
Yeah.
there is a little bit of maneuvering that goes on in there, man. Yeah, the Tim McGort is so great.
Um, have you had to
You're a
deal
little bit
with,
wrong.
yeah, have you had to deal with, like, a Matt Mercer effect kinda thing yet? Like, when a person comes in and expects you to be Matt Mercer?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
I can't ugh.
it's okay. I mean, and that's why I tell them it's like, you ain't paying enough to sit around a table with a bunch of voice actors, bro. They run
Definitely
little
not.
sweepstakes where you can do your $1,000 donation to the charity of the week, and you might get selected to go play, or you can spend your 30 and have a good time. It's up to you, brother. But no, I'm not Mercer. You know,
That's fair. It's a good response. It's a good response. No, I was just
no. I,
curious.
I promise you that I will give you an engaging, entertaining game, and you will get as much, if not more, out of it as you put into it. That's all
Yeah,
I can promise you.
no, that's fair.
You know.
That's fair. I
But
always
that's
have fun.
DMing. I'm not, I mean, the what I play, how I play with you guys is how I play with them.
Yeah.
There's really no difference other than just having to be a little bit quicker about, keeping an eye on personalities, keeping an eye on the direction of things. Unfortunately, a lot more note taking, man. Oh God, you know.
Oof,
But
I'm
yeah, I
so bad
mean,
with names. Like, it's yeah. I know we're only 2 sessions in, but, like, immediately I went to calling everybody by just their name in mind because I was like, "I can't remember any of your fucking characters." I don't know
so
how you do it. And I have 'em written down. I just don't have them in my head yet.
Hey, Blue Joy, thanks for joining us. So many people seem to forget that the vibe and success of Critical Role is not solely down to Mercer. He's a fantastic DM, but the world's best DM going to look like crap if the players aren't pulling their weight.
Yeah.
Right there. Blue, 100%, man,
I don't
and
dis
good to
I
see
don't
you. Thank
disagree with you. That's just like that's one of the things is like people expect to like rock up to a table and it be like you
This is
doing
gonna
a bunch of voices and having like a whole custom set built for the people to play it. Some people think that that's D&D. They see it and they're like, that's how D&D's played.
this is gonna sound gross. We all have our shit rated for adult, and I got to give credit to my boy Soma during my daytime stream for this quote. And it's bad, but it's the best fucking description I've heard for it. Baldur's Gate 3 and Critical Role are to Dungeons and Dragons the same thing that porn is to sex.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a fair analogy. Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a little bit crude, but I can't think of a better way to put it, man. You're seeing this stylized, super professional, produced, fast moving, engaging, ridiculous thing that doesn't happen in the real fucking world, and you're expecting it to be that way all the time, every time.
No, that's fair. That's a
Yeah.
really good comparison. Yeah.
And I got to tip my hat to Soma for. I was like, oh my god, that is a little bit gross, but no, I think it's a valid, salient
Yeah.
comparison that a lot of people
It's
like
yeah,
it or
pretty
not.
spot on.
It's so that's the way I see it. Glamorized D&D, packaged D&D, fast consumable D&D. So and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Porn's fun. Uh, Baldur's Gate 3 is fun.
Yeah.
Critical Role's fun, but I also know that porn ain't sex and all the time anyway. And I'm not nearly as good as I might hit 1 in 10 on a holy crap that was the best session ever, and it's okay. But I got people coming back every week to play with me in my friends and family group for a long time. I've got people paying to come play with me. I guess I'm doing something right.
I think you're good.
He's quoting me on that. Said porn's fun. DM keys at Jim 11224. I mean, shit. I'm
Clip
I'm
it,
not
clip
that
it.
old in cogity. But this is my point, though. All joking aside, uh, how you are seeing it versus how you're actually playing it, and so that is a bump that I have dealt with the pickup games.
Okay.
I watch Critical Role all the time. I'm a great fan of the whatever the stupid Arx Machina, whatever it's called on
Vox Machina.
Amazon stuff, Vox Machina and all that. And I can't wait to play a Chrono Mage. You need to find another DM because I don't do any Mercer stuff. I don't use any of his content. I don't play in his world. It's bad enough that you're coming to my world expecting me to be Mercer. I'm sure as hell not going to do his fucking world with you expecting me to be
Oh.
Mercer. Mercer's done his world for 20 fucking years. You expect me to be able to do that? Hell no, fam. I'm gonna stick with what I know.
Are the Gramomancer and the Chronomancer him? I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I
those are
didn't realize that.
Tal'Dorei subclasses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. I have barely looked at them. I looked at the Chronomancer. I didn't
choose your
realize
time,
that
get
that's
shown, bud.
what it was in.
In the next 5 minutes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah, yeah. We
me
feel
finally be able to play my wizard half orc who thinks he's a wizard in a one shot. Hell yeah, shit yeah. But all joking aside, this has been fun. Thank you guys for
yes, yeah,
dropping in. We do got to finish up. You're playing tonight? Yeah.
yes, yes.
Are you gonna stream too?
Yeah, I'll stream it. Yeah, let's go
Okay.
stream
Well,
it
we'll
too.
be back in literally 2 hours for a new sigil.
Yeah.
We're gonna head out of Signpost, I believe, meeting a new companion along the way. Let's see how adding a character works in live play, and then making their way up the Grand Plateau, hitting on Kurgala to hunt some giganto dinosaur. Man, yeah, it's great to see you again, Kat. Hopefully, you have a good one shot as well, Deanie. It's always fun to see you. Vigilant, thank you for dropping in. Anyone else that I missed that
Oh
might still
yeah,
be lurking back there? As always, thank you for your time. Apologies for the messed up schedule. Life be happening, but we
yeah,
doing our best, man. Good luck in your games. Y'all have fun, safe weekends, all that. We'll be back for Monday stuff as normal. But this shouldn't be anything more than see you later because I'm gonna see all y'all over on Josh's channel in about two
yeah.
hours, right?
Absolutely. Come back and see me, guys. That's the 9 p.m. Eastern time. Typically, we say 9 p.m., but typically winds up being 9:30. But somewhere between 9 and 9:30 we'll be on. Just hey, if you follow and you do the thing where you get the alerts, then you'll know when we're on. And
Yep. Oh, and as always, let me drop that in. I think most people are here on it, but just in case. Trying to do a little bit better using my Discord to let you guys know when I am or not here. And a lot more people are getting in there, sharing art, sharing resources, and sharing maps. So feel free to jump in there and grab stuff, leave stuff.
yeah,
The Discord's picking up a little bit as far as some you guys. I love the fact that you guys are interacting with each other. It's awesome, man. I love seeing a community start growing, and thank you guys so much for your input on it.
yeah. And you can do the same thing on me. All my stuff's down below, my YouTube, my Discord, stuff like that. My YouTube, I'm mostly posting my VODs for gameplay stuff. All of Kingdom Hearts 2 is up. I need to finish posting all of Birth by Sleep, and that's up. Uh, all of Labyrinth is up. Yeah. So yeah, there's a few things that are up there that you guys can watch on that. Um, yeah, come back, come see us every Friday. We do this. Well, most Fridays when everybody's there. All right.
See you guys
We'll
soon.
see you guys
Take
later.
care. Bye bye.
Bye, chums.